everyone, my name is Sydney and today I'm going to be discussing The Road of Us by SB, meaning Sarah Maamari. I hope I'm saying that correctly, but oh my gosh! I'm super excited to talk about this book today. The author, who is so beautiful, I've reached out to her multiple times after reading the book, talking to her, and she's always been so wonderful and beautiful through our conversations. And she actually was the one who reached out to me at the beginning to ask for me to read her book. I'm so happy that Sarah reached out to me. I actually loved it so much that I went and bought myself a hard copy. I actually think this book is my first 5-star rating of 2018, which is also super exciting. This is one of my favorite poetry books I've ever read, and I highly recommend it to you if you haven't read it yet. Anyway, so to give you a little bit of a backstory about what it's about, let's read the blurb for you and see if you're interested. Sometimes love can be magical and out of this world, but can lead to nowhere. This is the road of you and I. This is the road of two lovers. This is the road of us. Oh my god, I love it so much! Sarah was really able to really tap into my emotions. At the end of this book, I cried. I had to sit there and reflect, and I just cried. Because it was so raw and it was so realistic. It was beautiful. Another thing with this story is she reflects on both sides of that relationship. Like, I love how she talked about how he couldn't love her because he didn't love himself. And that was the most beautiful thing, because it's so true. You can't love anyone until you love yourself. Anyway, so shall we get into the spoilery stuff? I mean, if it's even spoilery, I don't know. I'm gonna read you my favorite poems from the book. If you haven't read this book, I mean, up to you if you want to stay, like, to get a gist of how poems kind of are. You can stay, that's fine. But I highly recommend that you read this book. It is so beautiful and it's so realistic and raw about love, self-love, relationships, heartache, breakups, rising to fall again, falling again to rise. So let's move on. I'm going to tell you my favorite poems from the book. So the first one is literally the introduction. I want to take you on a journey with me, but I don't want you to just walk the path I've been on. I want you to start from the beginning. Get lost with tremendous passion and fear, love for love, run from it, run to it again, because you were scared to grab it. So you hid behind the trees of insecurities, but now you're not. You know what it feels like to give your all to someone and what it feels like to not have the same in return. I want you to feel the cracks of the path you're walking on and be terrified for it to break. I want you to feel the suffering that came from having to make a fire out of your own shelter and warm yourself with self-love because the other person didn't want to warm you with theirs. I want you to know the feeling of passionate love and passionate hate, and I want you to join me. Because we all need to visit those places that we love but terrifies us. We need to heal by crying, throwing shit, screaming, laughing, talking, eating, going fucking crazy. We need to walk, crawl, run on the road that made us want to learn about the very first thing that scared us but healed us at the same time. And sometimes even healing doesn't help us forget the memories, just like a road that leads nowhere. A love that is made in the stars cannot be changed. I experienced a breakup last year, and whilst I wasn't with that guy for a year or more than a year, like, it wasn't a very long relationship at all, it was probably like 4 months, but there was still so much love there, and for me it was really hard to accept that we're not going to be together anymore. And so there were a lot of emotions that were being thrown around. Like, after the breakup, I instantly was crying for hours and hours. The whole of the next day I was just crying from beginning to end, and I felt so lost. I felt so lost within myself, who I was, and I felt so lost towards loving myself. Like I felt so shit and I was blaming myself for it, when that's the stupidest thing you can do, because it's not about you. It's never about you. Two people connect, and sometimes there's disconnect for different reasons. There's a lot of different things that come out of relationships, and you grow so much. And that was the biggest thing for me. I grew so much. I finally discovered how to love myself and to not wear makeup, and love not wearing makeup. I hardly ever wear makeup anymore unless I'm going out like at night or, you know, kind of thing. And I love being able to be comfortable in my own skin. Like, for that relationship to have happened, I'm extremely grateful for it, because it's made me who I am today in terms of how strong I am, my growth and all this stuff. But obviously there was so many different emotions that came out of it. Like, I was sad, I was angry, I was distraught, I was completely wrecked, I was a withering flower, and I needed to bloom again. It takes time, but you get there. And I love that Sarah really allows you to understand that that is a thing that you go through, that you have to go through all these emotions to get to that heightened place. This one was too relatable. On page 48. How cowardly of you to make me believe in love, then run away from it. There's this picture with it, which I absolutely love. Like, I could see this as like a tattoo or something. And I asked her about the illustrations, and she said that she drew everything. It's all her own artwork. So, Sarah, you're bloody talented. You can write music, you can sing, you can draw. What can't you do? Page 51, oh my god, this is another thing that was just amazing. When you break up with someone and you basically, through the months of being with them, your lives combine, and without them you feel really lost. You know what I mean? And this just really perfectly described that. Perfectly described it. Where are you running, my love, if not in my arms? Where do you go when I go to you? How come I never see you and meet you in the same place, even if I see you everywhere? And in a way, for me, when I was in that relationship, this was one of the red flags. Oh my god. Oh my god. This illustration, first up on page 90, I love it so much that I want to just like photocopy this page and put it on my wall. But I also really like this as a tattoo, and I want to get some tattoos in the future. I know, I want to get some tattoos. So I know I'm pure right now, but one day I won't be, and I'm excited. I'm very excited. And I actually really love this. I could see this as a tattoo. But first I'll read you the poem, and then I'll show you the illustration. So, I was the sun, you were the moon. We could never meet at the same time, for I was always rising and you were always hiding. But when the stars met your eyes, they sparked my interest and made me smile. I got up at the sunrise to ask the stars to make your dreams come true. I knew I loved you, even if we could never meet at the same time. And look at that. Like, wow. How the sun looks is just exactly how my hair is, and I just relate to that too much. Too much, but in a good way. Next. I'm so happy. Oh my god, I love this one as well. Page 133. She was the sun, all men revolved around her like planets, yet she wanted the one that didn't. And I love this because it's such a hips don't lie. Is that Shakira? This on page 180. I think this was like also the biggest reason why I love this book. I hope you will never forget what I said to you in our last conversation. I don't need you. I have myself. I will rise without you in my head, and you'll see what I will do with my life. You missed out on a chance to call me your wife, and I hope you are happy with all that you've done. I'll be successful by following my heart, and I'll write this book. My poetry will be shining, but don't ever forget that I'll always be rising. This is another poem that was just everything. I wish, back in my relationship, I wish that I had just said this. Page 214. Don't ask a girl why she demands exclusivity when you give her half of your love. She knows the other half is not meant for her. Page 236. You should never love someone more than you love yourself, because when they leave, you will end up loving no one. Biggest lesson I have ever learnt in my entire life. 247. Holy shit. This actually is a big thing towards intuition. It's very important to trust your intuition. But a lot of the time, our intuition can be negative and we don't want to go there because obviously it's negative, so we don't want to go there. But you gotta listen to it. No, he's a good person. He's just going through some things. He loves me, but I don't care what you think. You don't know him like I do. He's loving and caring and nice, I swear. It's complicated. He needs time to heal. Yes, I'm sad, but I know he can make me happy one day. I'm waiting on him to change. He will change. Red flag number 4. Okay, so this is the last one I'm going to share with you, and this one's quite funky. And it's on page 283. You gave me the D, but I wanted the whole damn alphabet. And on that note, pick up this book because it's amazing. It is one of the best poetry books I have ever read, and I really do think that Sarah is just going to get higher and higher up there with what she creates, because what she creates is really, I believe, truly from the heart and soul. It is very beautiful, and I can't wait to see what else she's going to release. Alright, so I'm gonna go. I hope you read it. The Road of Us is beautiful. As usual, bye!